everyone, I'm Alexton96, or Taylor Denna, whatever you know me by, and I want to implement a new style of speed paints where I kind of talk about the paintings or events in my life, sort of like Trent Kenyuga or Adam Duff. Both of them are awesome artists that I listen to on YouTube, and their channels are in the description below. Let me know if you'd like to have more of these kinds of speed paints. So the reference photo comes from the channel Hungarian Folktales, and it's about this young spirit named Pinko. Pinko eats a poor man's meal and is punished by his father to serve the poor man for 3 long years. Essentially, Pinko is this crazy, powerful godchild who, demolishes an entire forest and swindles a duke and takes the entire food supply of a kingdom in order to help the poor man. And the story made Pinko seem, charming and silly, but I just thought it would be hilarious if he's just a constant, chaotic force. I also wanted him to be more like a fawn because fawns are cute, and I thought it would be a funny contrast to him being just a natural disaster. So he's grasping the giant bag of the kingdom's wheat while munching on the cornbread he stole from the poor man. And there's some small elements of wheat and gold coins in the background. Not sure if I did enough or too little. Yeah, anyway, I don't have the whole story developed, nor do I think this will be a project I will see to completion, but it's a fun thing to think about. So yeah, here's a rough comic of when Pinko destroys a forest. So I was thinking that the story, though mostly comedic, will be about learning to care about the little things. So Pinko is just so powerful, he doesn't care about the consequences of his actions, and through the help of the poor man, he learns that solving one problem for himself can create a problem for someone else. And he starts to learn to care about other people, what they have to go through, and learns how to help without creating unnecessary hardship. Yeah. And I wanted this drawing to be like a classical portrait, and I think I kind of did that. So I kept on bringing the values down, and the brightest values are actually not that bright at all. And I think the lowering of the values overall helped achieve this effect. The toughest parts were definitely the clothes. I need to work on them a bit more, and how cloth reacts to wind in the form. And yeah, and so I just kind of kept them unfinished. I need to work on tightening up some areas and stuff. This painting took a much shorter time than I thought it did, just about 3 hours or so. But because of my crazy schedule, I can only work on it 30 minutes one day, 10 minutes in another. And yeah, and I was starting to get kind of tired after 3 hours. I get impatient sometimes when I work on one drawing for more than 3 or 4 hours, or for longer than a week. And so yeah. I keep flipping the drawing back and forth horizontally, because you can fix a lot of areas to make it more of a solid drawing. I find if something feels a little off in the original pose, it's actually really off once you flip it. I also find that when I work on the flipped image, I tend to prefer the character facing the other way. And because I've flipped this image so much, I like both versions when he's facing to the right or to the left, which is good. If I try flipping it vertically, I'm sure I can find more issues to work out. I can try implementing that in the future. It's also hard knowing when a drawing is done. I usually base it on how much I want to continue working on the drawing, and that may or may not be the best method. At the very least, the face, or the focal point, is the area that got the most polish, and the messiness and the unfinished look of the clothes will help guide the eye back towards the face. Nearly every art class I took emphasized speed, and I would push really, really hard to increase quality and efficiency to match that time. And so I'm pretty stuck on spending very little time on a single painting. It really bugged me when teachers would push for speed and then suddenly slow down, slam on the brakes. One time I had to muscle out 50 one-minute poses a day for a couple weeks, and right after that was drawing just one figure for 6 hours, and man, I had so much whiplash. But it was good! It's good to try out different things to see what works and to broaden your skills. I did use one kind of brush the whole time, including a smudge tool, If I remember correctly, it's a free set of brushes by a guy named... Oh boy, I'm gonna butcher the name. Grzegorz Rutkowski. I'll put a link to these brushes in the description as well. It's the one that sort of looks like a pointy mountain. Yeah, and I love to be able to help out other artists in any way. I don't really believe in keeping trade secrets or competing to be better than someone else. So if you guys have any questions about what tools I use or what technique I do or whatever, I will do my absolute best to help out. I can't guarantee that I'll explain it very clearly or have the best answer, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyway, I love listening to folktales because they have such a unique view on life and include such creative story elements, things you don't really see nowadays in modern storytelling and such. And for me, it's just such a joy redesigning them in my own way. I also love how nonchalant these stories can be with their violence, like, oh, and by morning his head was added to the collection, or something pretty dark like that. Knowing the backstory on a seemingly innocent nursery rhyme is quite the eye-opener. I do think some morals in these stories can be taken in an unhealthy way, like constantly overextending your time and energy for someone who takes advantage of you isn't always good. And hey, maybe Pinko could not only learn to care about the well-being of others, but understands that he has needs as well, and that his powers can only help others so much, even though they're so great. And that's all for today. I hope you like this new format of speed paints. I hope to do more in the future, just help give some insight into what I'm thinking, be able to like express what I want to say, and not just the painting itself. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye!